Hello.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, because we have an intersection of two very holy moments. We come into Shabbat while we're still in the midst of Pesach, of Passover, and for that reason, our Kabbalat Shabbat service is really, really shortened in honor of the kavod, in honor of the honor for Passover. We're going to begin on page 42 tonight with a super abbreviated Kabbalat Shabbat in honor of the holiday.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות. טוב להודות לאדוני. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות. טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון. לשמך עליון. לזמר ולזמר לישראל עליון. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות. טוב להודות לאדוני. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות. טוב להודות לאדוני. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, בלילות. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
And we pick up together at the bottom of page 42, Sadiq, Katamar.
צדיקה כומר יפרח כארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני עצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בשבע דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי צורי ולא עוולת בו.
We pause now to extend condolences from the congregation to members of our community who have been bereaved during the past week. This week, we extend our condolences to the family of the late Gary Engelman, and we extend our condolences to the family of the late Robin Goldfame. And on the bottom of page 41, turning back. Bottom of page 41, we join together with the traditional Friday evening greeting for mourners. Hamakom yanachem etchem betol sha'ar avelei Zion veYerushalayim. May the Holy One who comforts Israel grant you solace in your bereavement. We turn to page 50, and we rise for the Baruchu, the call to prayer.
Barechu et Adonai Hamevolach. Baruch Adonai Hamevolach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. We continue on page 51 with responsive reading.
At the bottom, O Lord, your word brings on the evening twilight. The heavens proclaim your glory.
And we, your creatures on earth, behold in wonder your endless miracles.
Help us to recognize your guiding power in distant galaxies and in our own souls.
Teach us your law of righteousness and love, so that your Spirit may govern our lives.
Source of peace, bless our worship. May our meditations find favor in your sight.
May our gratitude for your wonders lead us in love to your service.
So that, like the changing seasons, the days, the nights, our lives too will proclaim your glory. Amen.
Amen. Umaviyom umevilayla, umavdil ben yom ben layla, Adonai Sebaot Shemo El Chai Bekayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Vaed Baruch Atah Adonai Amari Balavim Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chokim u'mishpatim Otanu limadta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shokbenu u'bekumenu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. יהם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך בכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. וחיי שמות.
And reading together in English in the middle of page 57. Therefore, keep these words of mine in your heart and in your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your arm, and let them be a reminder above your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down at night and when you rise up in the morning. Write them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Thus your days and the days of your children will be multiplied on the land which the Lord promised to your ancestors for as long as the heavens remain over the earth. Continuing on 58.
ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי. ואני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני לכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Middle of page 60.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לכאן ושירה ושמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, תורת תהילות אוסף אלה, תורת תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ובניך, וקיים לפני משה. זה ליאנו ואמרו, זה ליאנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו ביד חזק ממנו מלוכתה אדוני גל ישראל.
And we turn to page 63 for our responsive reading.
Help us, O God, to lie down in peace, but teach us that peace means more than quiet.
Remind us that if we are to be at peace at night, we must take heed how we live by day.
Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep.
Rid us of resentments and hatreds which rob us of the peace we crave.
Liberate us from enslaving habits which disturb us and give us no rest.
May we inflict no pain, bring no shame, and seek no profit from another's loss.
May we so live that we can face the world with serenity and with grace.
We feel no remorse at night for what we have done during the day.
May we lie down in peace tonight and awaken tomorrow to a richer and fuller life.
Amen.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך מלוכת אדוני הפורש ישראל, הפורש סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים.
64, top of page.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
66.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה,
Amen.
ועלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, ויקון וביום יקון, ובקייד כל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם ברק, לעולם עולם בעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. ברכו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושילתה, תושבקתה ונקמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו Amen.
We turn very far ahead to page 99. Page 99 for the festival Amidah, which is said personally. Please remember to make all the insertions for Passover.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. לעולם תשים לעולם.
We turn to page 80.
ויכלו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויקל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
You may be seated.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, קונה שמיים וארץ. מגן אבות בדברו, וקיים מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו לעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד בין הברכות. אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה לעמד ושני עונג, זכר למעשה למעשה ורך. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי דבר. ילמד יבדק כדותי בימליק מלכותי בחיי כל ובימי כל ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה בזמן קריב וימרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ותעלה שמי לקודשה ולכבוד לאל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונקמתה דם ידן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותו ובאתו לכל ישראל קדם ובאון ושמיים ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה בשמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום יממה והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Oh, great. We invite up Rabbi Sorokin to share some words of Torah.
Yeah. So sometimes you see like behind the curtain, what that was like, where's our list? And Rabbi Schwartz went to run to get it, but we can wait.
Oh,
He is a fast runner.
wow,
All right.
fast. No, sir.
No sermon tonight. You got it.
After Kiddush, Sphira. We turn now to page 90 for Kiddush. And as we rise together for the Friday evening Kiddush, we encourage those who are joining us at home to please grab a drink of your choice and raise it in a toast to us. Page 90.
A lovely group of people coming up.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kadsha b'ratzah hinchi lanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu bacharta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kadshecha, b'aha uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Fred.
Drink.
Amazing parade.
L'chaim. Good vintage
Good.
this year.
Seated. Fred, I don't know if you'll remember that. I'm imagining Joan and most of us will remember that scene forever. It was very, very sweet. Welcome home. So I was talking, first of all, good Shabbos. It's nice to be together for Shabbat. I was thinking about a friend of mine. We were friends in our New York living days, in our Manhattan living days. And at the time, we were raising little kids. And my friend Jenny was telling me that the night before we had met, which was a few days prior to Pesach, she had been preparing her kids for, hi guys. She had been preparing her kids for the Seder. And she had preparing them for, like, to learn the story so that when they sat down at the table, not only could they sing, you know, all of the songs, but that they would actually sort of come familiar with the Pesach story. So she was giving both of her boys a bath that night, and they were splish-splashing around, and she was going over the story of our ancestors, and she was trying to teach them that their story is really our story. So she kept on speaking, like, in the, like, and when we were slaves, and when we, you know, finally, when Moshe was able to convince Pharaoh to let our people go, and we ran and we ran and we ran, and then she said, and then we got to the edge of the sea, and we turned around, and there were the Egyptians chasing us, even though they had initially said, go, 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 but then they changed their mind. Pharaoh changed their minds, and they all came chasing us and pursuing us. And then we looked ahead, and there was the water, and we looked behind us, and there were the Egyptians, and so we had to figure out what to do. And so the little boy, Jenny's son, stops her, and he says, Mommy, he goes, so what happened next? She said, well, you know, Midrash tells us, like, the story says that then a man named Nachshon, he was really courageous, and he took that first step into the water, and then the sea parted. And he said, Mommy, he goes, wow, how did we all know to bring our bathing suits? And she, like, stopped for a minute, and she said, oh, honey, she said, we didn't even pack our bathing suits when we were leaving Egypt. She said, we didn't even need our bathing suits because, don't forget, the sea parted, and then we just ran through on dry water. And he was like, oh, that's good, you know? So they got through, and they kept on going through the story. He gets out, his brother goes into the tub, and finally, Jenny's like, oh, no, I forgot the towel. So she calls out to Jacob, and she says, Jacob, she said, honey, can you bring a towel for your brother? And he goes, Mommy, he goes, that's no problem. He goes, don't forget, I used to be a slave. So clearly, this idea of speaking as a we in the collective was actually really effective. So I was thinking about this story today and just thinking and sort of smiling and thinking that in many ways, when we sit down at our Passover Seders, we have a whole bunch of different goals. And I want to actually just spend a couple of minutes talking about those. So one of our goals is, as Jacob and Jenny's story illuminated, it's what? It's retelling our story as if we were the ones that experienced both slavery and redemption. That was our journey, right? As if the Haggadah is like our diary or our journal, and we're going back and reliving the experience. What are the other goals? What are your other goals when you sit down at the Seder with your family, if you have family or friends, or even by yourself? What is the goal of a Seder? Yeah, Michael. To teach the younger people. Yeah. Yeah, to fulfill the mitzvah, like to teach from one generation to another, right? To teach our children, our grandchildren, the younger generation. And what are we trying to teach them? Good. So it's about remembering and teaching the value of freedom. What else? Isn't it interesting to like sort of climb the mountain and be like, what were you doing for the last 2 days? Okay, Denise.
Teaching that, we're happy, we have compassion for the others.
Yes.
They suffer.
Yeah. Teaching empathy, right? Teaching empathy. And one of the ways that we do that, of course, is, the Dams of Ardea, right? When we do all of the, when we do the plagues, right? We also tell it with a story that the Egyptians, like, we celebrated when we were okay, but God gave us a little bit of rebuke and said, like, the Egyptians are drowning, right? They also didn't bring their bathing suits. They're drowning, and we don't sing when even our enemies are being hurt, or in this case, destroyed. So it teaches us empathy, right? That we can, again, as Michael said, pass from generation to generation. What else? Amazing. So another thing that it teaches us, right, and we were talking about this a little bit this morning, that Moshe is sort of written out of the story in the Haggadah. Did anyone notice how absent he is from that story in the Haggadah? And the reason that we do it is because we want to remember and tell our story as if like God is the main reason, right? That God is the reason that we were liberated, and God is the reason that we went through the wilderness and made it to the promised land. So we do it to remember not only God's power, right, which also we see in a whole bunch of different ways, but also that God loves us, right? God's miracles, God's blessings, and God's love for us. What else do we try to convey at the Seder? Yep, Jonathan.
I think it's also expressing graciousness for what our ancestors went through, because if they didn't go through what they went through, we wouldn't be acknowledging these holidays 3,000 years later.
Yeah, I love that. And Jonathan, I would say gratitude is a really big part of the Seder, and we know that because what song is all about gratitude? Die, enu, right? It's like that too would have been enough. And if you had only done that, that would have been enough. But you did more, and you did more, and you did more, which is a real exercise in feeling grateful. Fred?
We emphasize how the night and really the week is different than any other time of the year, because we eat, how we participate together.
Yeah.
It's kind of a way to segregate that from the rest of the year.
Yeah. And why do you think we do that, Fred? So what Fred said is that we try to make those, you know, the Seder nights distinct from all of the other nights of the year. And do we do that really as an opportunity for us to, you know, to perpetuate all of these other values and have these conversations that maybe we don't make time for in the midst? Yeah. Yes, I love that. It forces us for not only our Seder nights, but the entirety of Passover to think about themes like freedom, right? Like gratitude. Like, what does Judaism mean to us, and what do we want to pass on? And why does that matter to us? They're really big questions. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. And we don't have to play this part out loud unless you really want to, we can. But I want you to think about, of all of the things that we just shared, where do you think that you were most successful over the last couple of nights? Right, if those were all of our objectives, what do you think you were most successful in sort of doing or accomplishing at your table? And by the way, I would say this, and I whispered it to Rabbi Schwartz today. We have really long Seders. I'm sure you're shocked. In fact, we didn't eat, no, if I even tell you, no one will ever come to my house for Seder, but we didn't. Okay, there's an idea that you have to finish eating by midnight. And put it this way, we were like racing through. And then we were talking more, but still I went to sleep feeling like, oh, we didn't do that, or we didn't have a conversation about this. So my question for you is, where did you excel this year? Where did you focus in all of those different objectives that we have from the Seder? And then where might you want to use this next set of days? Right, as Fred said, the Passover experience does not end after our Seders are complete. And so we still have time to keep on working on all of those different ideas and themes throughout the entire holiday. So for Shabbos, I'm going to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom. It should be peaceful, it should be easy, it should be relaxing. I think we've all earned a little bit of that, and rejuvenative. And then may we get back to the work of the week, which is really sort of exploring and transmitting the ideas and ideals that we come to focus on and should be focusing on throughout Pesach. I wish for you all Shabbat Shalom and a Chag Sameach. It should be a good rest of the holiday.
Oh, on the first night of this, on the second night of the Seder, we began counting the Omer, and we're going to count together the Omer. So we'll turn to page 732.
It's traditional, to recite the Omer after dark. We're doing a lot of things tonight that we would normally wait until after dark to do, like celebrate Shabbat. So we're going to count the Omer before it's dark. You can carry the memory of the counting with you through into the night. We're now also tradition not to mention what night it is until we count it.
Yesterday.
But we can tell you that last night was the first night. So if you're good at math, you'll know what tonight is.
It's confusing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer hayom shnei yamim laomer.
I'm so excited.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Wow. Every time I've davened in the Gorn, I've been waiting for this moment when we could use the Omer counter.
We have some special parting
has-
gifts for you. This is
Spin the wheel. And now we turn back to page 118 and we rise as able for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה לארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו וגם הם מרוממים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס סולתו כך כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אלון. הכתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Pausing now, we remember with reverence the yardsites of our beloved departed. We'll read out two yardsites lists, both the yardsites for Friday, the 16th of Nisan, which are observed until sundown tonight. And I'll also read the yardsites list for Saturday, the 17th of Nisan, which is observed from sundown tonight through sundown tomorrow night. Stephen Bloom, Lee Chait, Arthur Diamond, Joel Frankel, Elliot Freebush, Jerome Katz, Harold Lessons, Beverly Proper, Miriam Rosenthal, Jack Roth, Lillian Rothman, Audrey Rotkovitz, Sarah Savage, Benjamin Scarf, Benjamin Bloom, Sylvan Bluestein, Gloria Brotman, Milton Feldman, Louis Fine, Melba Fishman, Barbara Bobby Gandel, Shirley Gordon, Ida Katz, Rasya Kaufman, Donna Leibowitz, Mark Lebowski, Bessie Martin, Adolf Mertz, Lillian Offit, Theodore Samel, Minnie Shear, and Frank Schneider. Zecher Tzadik Libracha, may their righteous memories continue to bring blessings into all of our lives. Saying to that, Amen. And in solemn testimony to the unbroken chain of faith that links us Ledor Vador from one generation to the next, we invite those who are currently in a period of mourning and those who are observing a yard site to please rise for the Mourner's Kaddish on page 124. Page 124. Yitgadal ve'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach irutei vayamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala vizman kariv emru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach be'alam almei amaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'pa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. Ve'yithadar ve'yit'aleh ve'yithalal shmei dekucha brechu. Ve'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata. Tushbachata ve'nechemata. Damiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Ve'hei shlama rabba min shamaya. Ve'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. You may be seated. Our announcements of events that are going on over the rest of the Shabbat weekend. Parsha class will be online tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. Our in-person Joshua class will be in the Balm Boardroom starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Services tomorrow morning will be at 10 a.m. I would invite you to participate in either of these two bonus activities before 10 a.m. services. I know no one is tired from any late nights. Our services tomorrow night will be at 7:30 p.m. That's online only. Sunday services will be at 9:15 a.m. and at 5:30 p.m. And daily services are at 8 a.m. and 6:45 p.m. 7:45, and there are a lot more. There's many more dates and times in the busy Passover week. So I invite you, if you're curious, you can either check your email or come check out this paper after services. And
Or alternatively, you could just stay at Bethel the whole time.
there's no reason to go home. It will be a party every single night, though you might want to bring some extra matzah for yourself. We'll turn to Shalom Aleichem, page 16.
At this time of the season, we remember what we sang on the Seders, that we were slaves and now we are free. Shalom Aleichem, Malkei HaSharet, Malkei Elyon, Malkei Elyon, Melech Malkei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Melech Malkei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Vakem LeShalom, Malkei HaShalom, מלכי עליון, מלכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, מלכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, מלכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שבת שלום.
Shabbat shalom. I did make a mistake with the, but technically it still is Yom Tov.
I would say you get a break on that one.